I really don't care about anything other than the fact that it's not going to be good.
Welcome back to This Week in Gaming. I am Proxy.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Jeff.
And today you'll be listening to this is the 13th, Saturday the 13th. We missed a Friday the 13th. Thank goodness for that.
I know.
As of recording this, we have no idea the outcome of the Boston Uprising versus Florida's Mayhem, I think is the team they're up against.
Yeah. The McDonald land people.
The McDonald colored people. But hopefully they did well. We'll be figuring that out later. Anyway, let's just jump into some gaming news.
Sorry. I was looking at something else to another article that we will be talking about
Sorry,
shortly.
I was totally paying attention.
So we're going to just jump right into a little bit of Fallout 4, actually.
Do tell me.
Well, not specifically Fallout 4, but Fallout 4. We actually just watched the trailer to what we're going to talk about.
Oh, yes.
Fallout 4, New Vegas.
Yeah. We should preface this. This is not. Well, okay.
This is not a Bethesda created thing.
I don't know if I'm Fallout for New Vegas or Fallout against New Vegas.
Maybe this will be the time that I finally play. Anyway,
maybe this will be the time that I finish.
I wanted to preface this before.
Yeah.
Bethesda is not making this. A modding community is making this.
So Bethesda is not making this, but they haven't shut it down, and it's been going on for like 4 or 5 years, the development, and they've been told by this group of modders. Modders have been working on bringing New Vegas into the Fallout 4 engine basically since Fallout 4 came out.
Yeah.
So finally they are actually showing the extent of their programming, which is friggin' phenomenal. It's crazy. It looks like New Vegas. It sounds like New Vegas. The leveling is still the same, like
the perks and the skills and shit.
Yeah, everything. It looks great of what they showed. It was like what, a 2-3 minute video?
Yeah,
roughly.
But it looks great. The goal of this modding project is not to just remake New Vegas, but to truly remaster it and enhance the game. You know, kind of like what they've been doing with every other game out there, doing the HD remake. Why not do that with a Fallout game?
Yeah.
Especially I would kill for Fallout
because it's
3.
only okay when fans do it.
Yeah.
If the company does it, then
it's a crime.
It's blasphemy.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's because they don't actually redo anything. Like, imagine putting Morrowind in the Skyrim engine.
Actually, did I put that on there?
You did that? Actually.
That's actually the next thing. It has nothing to do with the people making Fallout 4 New Vegas, but it was
Skywind.
It's kind of related.
Skywind.
A team of people have been working on it for fucking years. Like, since the first original iteration of Skyrim came out, they've been working on it.
And they're also doing Skyblivion.
Yeah. And I'm fucking pumped for that. So, like, yeah, it is like taking a super old janky-ass game and putting it in a brand new engine. But if they're going to make it better, too, like, that's just a bonus for me.
Yeah, exactly. If it looks prettier and I see less polygons and it looks like it's going to jump out at my TV.
Yeah.
Like, I'm for it. I don't know.
Well, hopefully it goes well and it's not just like putting a Hemi in a Yugo.
Jokes!
Oh, boy.
That's the extent of my car knowledge. Let's go.
Yeah. Moving on from that, we're actually going to talk about GDQ, Games Done Quick. They did it again, as always.
They always do it again.
Games Done Quick.
They're always quick about it.
They've been streaming their speedrun since last Sunday, and will continue until late the 13th. So when you are listening to this, I hope you listen to this on day 1. So Saturday the 13th, it'll be up until late that day. So far, they have raised, and that's what I was saying, holy shit, too.
Yeah.
So far, in this past week, they have raised $1,007,448.15.
Let's just, like, absorb that for a second. when I was writing these notes yesterday, they were at 600,000.
Well, the maximum donation that's been received is $10,000.
Probably from the Yeti.com.
And the average donation has been around $37.80, which is a lot.
That is a lot of money.
Like,
and you know, if you factor in all the people that are doing like a 500 here and then someone doing a $1 or $2 or $5 here.
Or like when we were watching the Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
The $15 or whatever.
Yeah.
From this guy from Louisiana. Every time, what was his name? Carcinogen was doing a speedrun of Resident Evil 7. And every time he spouted out a fact about Louisiana, this one guy would donate like $15.
Yeah.
From Louisiana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think his handle was like Louisiana guy, and he was like, hey, here's another whatever amount donation for that cool Louisiana fact. Here's $20 in it for you if you can do another one. And about maybe 20 minutes later, Carcinogen had another fact. Sure enough, like 5 minutes later, the guy had come through with another donation. It was
Sweet.
It was awesome. I didn't watch it live, but I watched it a few hours. I watched it a few hours after the fact. It was fucking awesome.
And it was probably one of my most favorite speedruns to watch because he wasn't like a douche canoe about it. He wasn't like, oh, I'm just really good at this game.
Yeah.
He was actually like really chill, and he was like spouting out facts about the game.
And he was funny, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Anyone that can maintain a personality while executing a speed run has my respects.
Apparently,
he beat the game in an hour
49.
49 minutes.
He beat a like 10 to 20 hour game in an hour 49. And it wasn't like, oh, I broke the game. It was just knowing what exactly to do, and it was great.
On the hardest difficulty.
Yeah, on Madhouse
mode.
Yeah. Carcinogen's like really cool though. He's like the Resident Evil speedrun guy. So I really want to check those out. Because if he's going to do it legit without just like jumping through all the walls like in a lot of Bethesda games, then I could actually understand the story without having to watch 15 hours of a playthrough.
Fair.
But that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Just $1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
For Prevent Cancer Foundation.
Yes.
The Prevent
Yeah. The PCF. So if you have a chance before the 13th, late 13th, go and check it out. Check out Games Done Quick. They're on Twitch. They have their actual website.
If you go to gamesdonequick.com, there's everything there.
Yeah, and even if you only have $1, donate $1. Yeah. You know, if I had $1
it's like we always say when we're running our charities, whether it's for JDRF or Extra Life, every single dollar counts.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It all adds up.
Because if you've got 500 people that are all like, all I have is $1.
Well, that's $500.
Exactly.
And that's a lot of money.
Right.
That's a lot of money.
Moving on from our little GDQ thing, Dark Souls.
I heard about this, and boy, are there going to be some snapped switches.
Oh my God, is there?
I hadn't thought about that.
Because the Joy-Cons are like small enough that you could almost crunch them in your hand.
You could crunch them in your hand.
I have a thing about that after this is done.
Yeah. Earlier this week, Nintendo had a mini Treehouse, which is when they announce things. They generally do it like every quarter. And one of the announcements was the original Dark Souls is being remastered for every platform: PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox One, X, PC, and the Switch.
Fuck yeah!
So I mean, that was an announcement during the Nintendo Direct. Dark Souls Remastered, it's going to be coming to the Switch May 25th. It has improved resolution, visual enhancements, but I think I'd like to see some videos of people playing Dark Souls on the Switch and just like absolutely like going to like just rip it in half.
Yeah. Actually,
like a tiny digital phone book.
That's like the funny thing. I've been watching a lot of this YouTube channel called Jerry Rig Everything, and he does durability tests on various like phones and everything. He decided to do one for the Switch. And the Switch is a shockingly resilient system.
They got to build it for families.
Yeah. Like, everything's pretty sturdy. He put the Joy-Cons on the screen and, like, really, like, twisted them and, like, pulled on them. And it wasn't until he put all of his force in, and he's a pretty beefy dude.
He is.
That one of the hinges on the Switch screen, like a screw, popped out and it broke.
But not the Joy-Cons.
But it wasn't like, oh, the screen snapped in half. it's just a strong fucking console. So I would like to see Dark Souls versus the Switch and see which one survives.
Game versus console.
I could tell you that I could probably break it.
I would rather you didn't.
I would rather I didn't either, because I don't even own a Switch yet. That means I owe someone a lot of money. Other Dark Souls news, actually.
Yeah.
So Dark Souls as a series is getting a $450 deluxe trilogy box set.
And it looks great.
It looks amazing.
Tell us what's in it.
So it is going to feature the first 3 Dark Souls games, Dark Souls Remastered, Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin, and Dark Souls 3 Fire Fades Edition. A pair of bookends, one being a bonfire, obviously because it's Dark Souls, and the other a knight, because Dark Souls. Also, along with it, you get a 6 CDs soundtrack from the game. So you get essentially the whole soundtrack from all 3 games, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And also encyclopedias for each game.
Yeah, one encyclopedia per game.
Hot diggity.
It looks amazing.
Do I get an actual Estus flask in this?
Unfortunately, you don't get anything because it's only being released in Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
It's only been announced for Japan.
Yeah.
You know, if it does good in Japan, which it will,
it's gonna go.
It'll come to the States and it'll be like $1,000.
Bandai Namco said we don't have plans to release it in the Americas, but
wink,
like,
wink.
come on.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's coming out. May 24th in Japan, which is the same day that the Dark Souls remaster is coming out, obviously.
Right.
So May 25th for us, the remaster comes out. So
yeah,
fucking
so I
sweet.
mean, theoretically speaking, we will probably still end up seeing it
eventually.
Like, I'll never have the money to drop on that
No,
because I'd rather just buy a console or a TV with that money.
I would probably like the bookends.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty cool, but I don't fucking play Dark Souls.
but
So-
they're still cool.
Yeah,
I refuse to play Dark Souls because I don't want to break my controllers.
I'd rather you didn't.
There's definitely an entire list of sadistic things you could do to, fuck with yourself other than, buying Dark Souls. But hey, some people are into that.
Just jump in front of a train. It's probably less painful.
Might be.
So
Just as dangerous.
yeah. So moving from Bandai Namco,
Namco Bandai.
we are moving into Capcom Worlds. Specifically, Monster Hunter Worlds.
Yay!
So as of this past week, it was announced that there will be no microtransactions or loot boxes to purchase at launch.
Yep.
I had not even thought about that with Monster Hunter World. And
I think
it's just because that they've never used that method before.
Yeah.
But, think about all the money they could make off of that just with skins alone.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the way that the gaming economy is right now. And
Right.
I appreciate that they were like, no, I'm not going to lie to you. We're not doing it.
Right. So Ryozo Sugimoto, the series producer, said, this is a co-op game and you're going out in up to 4 people parties. The idea is that there's a harmony in the 4 players going out and you're going to get on well together. If you feel someone hasn't earned what they've got or they've got a better weapon just because they paid for it and you worked for yours, that creates friction. We want to make sure nobody is under the impression that because it looks like the kind of game where you might have loot boxes, they definitely are in there.
I really like that.
That's legit. He's like, no, you need to work for your stuff.
Yeah. And it's true. If I was playing with 3 people who have money and they spent it on this game and I was like, cool, I have my little baby gun.
Exactly.
I'm not going to spend money on this game. I would feel like such a loser.
Right.
I appreciate that.
That, and there's something I really hate about pay-to-wins.
Yeah. It fucking sucks.
It's like, oh, you and your millions of dollars, you're just, really bad at the game, but you've paid for equipment to make you good enough to not be bad at the game.
Yeah. That's basically
You've paid your way to an unfair advantage.
Oh, so you've played WoW.
you've heard of Ready Player One.
Yes.
That's the plot. That's the plot. People who have money
basically.
win the game.
Wow.
Ready Player One. How many cameos can we possibly fit into an entire movie?
There's at least 47 in the trailer.
Well, I know they had said Spielberg's directing.
Yeah.
And he made the promise not to reference himself at all. which is really weird because they reference Spielberg a lot in the book.
Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember that happening a lot.
It's going to completely change certain aspects because, like, well, now the guy that's directing the movie can't reference things that were referenced in the book because it's him.
I don't care how bad the movies might be.
I'm still going to go see it.
I'm going to pay money to go see it. I've been excited about it since it was announced.
Yeah, since I told you like 2 years ago.
I don't even care how bad it's going to be. I'm fucking excited.
That and because every other gaming website out there is going to be doing an article about it. And it's going to start off with, oh, it's a blockbuster hit, and then it's going to move from there directly into why this movie demeans women. And from there into like all sorts of other crazy political crap that we just really don't need in our movies.
I really don't care about anything other than the fact that it's not going to be good. Like, it's just not going to be a good movie.
I don't plan on it being good. I just expect it to wow me.
Yeah.
I just want to be kind of like Wanted. I don't know if you guys saw Wanted.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies you can watch it once and then you're like, this was basically Star Wars with really over-the-top effects and you can never watch it again.
Don't forget to curve the bullet.
It's like Limitless, too. Limitless, the first time you watch it, great fucking movie. The third time you watch it, you're like, this is
whoa.
This is a drug addict's movie.
Yeah.
I still like that movie. I've watched it like at least 15 times.
It's a good movie. But I don't know. I feel like every time you watch the movie, it's like taking more NZT.
Not to get too not to get too off the rails with Limitless, but every time after the second or third time I watched the movie, I was like, this entire plot line could have been so much smoother if he had just immediately paid back the Russian.
Yeah.
If you didn't make the Russian have to hunt you down and find out you have your pills, then you wouldn't be in the predicament that you're in.
Most Bradley Cooper movies things would have gone so much better if I had just made better decisions.
It's just the one decision. Or if he had killed that guy. Like, end of movie.
Problem solved.
End of conflict. Anyway.
So getting off of our derailment right there, we're getting back on track for our last article of the day. Kingdom Hearts 3, our favorite sequel that has yet to be released, might actually get a release this year.
Our favorite fever dream.
Oh my God.
So Square Enix announced / confirmed via Twitter this week that Kingdom Hearts 3 may be getting a 2018 release. They consider it the most anticipated game of 2018. Does that mean it's likely to release in 2018? That's up for interpretation. Or do they know what most anticipated game of 2018 means? Like I'm sorry, this is the most anticipated game of 2010.
That's true.
That's the thing. Do they think that 2018 is filled with anticipation for people? And that's what they think it means? Or do they think it's the game coming out in 2018 that is anticipated? We don't know, and we won't know until it comes out. Literally, until the game is actually in people's hands, no one is going to believe anything.
Yeah.
You know?
So
either way, that's promising.
If it comes out, I'll be semi-excited.
I'll be excited for all my friends who are excited.
Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to come out and it's not going to wrap up nearly as much of the storyline that people want it to wrap up.
Right.
There was storyline to wrap up?
You had Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and then they've spent all the time since then being like, oh, but wait, let me fill in some plot holes with 15 other games.
Oh my God, no kidding. Chain of Memories was probably the worst experience of my life.
I didn't play it.
It was bad.
Don't.
Okay. Good to know.
I have one final thing. The Call of Duty swatter.
Oh, yeah.
Bill. He has been charged with involuntary manslaughter and may suffer up to 3 years in prison.
Sweet.
Yeah. He's going to get fucking destroyed in prison. Because his crime is stupid. His crime is a dumb crime. He didn't kill anybody.
I'm sorry, you swatted a random family? We're going to pass you around in prison until you don't know the difference between a fart and a yawn.
Yeah. Like, he didn't, murder 75 people with a knife. He didn't do something extravagant. He didn't, do something horrible to a child. He fake called SWAT on somebody and the wrong person died. That's a dumb crime. And I hope he suffers in jail.
Yeah.
The end.
That has been Jack
Boom.
Mackerel.
Yeah.
We've all been Jack Mackerel this week. I actually wanted to tag on at the end there, or at the end of our podcast today, that I completely forgot we had a Patreon account. But we have one.
I didn't
And
know we had one till the other day.
And for the low, low price of as little as $1 a month, that's like 1/10 to 1/15 of your Netflix subscription.
We will have Sarah McLachlan come to your house and sing you that sad animal commercial song.
Oh, but for as low as $1 a month, you could help all the magic be even more magical.
Yeah.
That's all I really want to say. I can link the Patreon below. I'm going to try and make it a little bit better, though. I had some ideas I'm going to toss around with you guys after the podcast, and we'll see where we go with it. But
ultimately, whatever happens will probably go to actually, like, this related stuff.
For sure.
Like,
I would like to be able to do, like, giveaways to people who are following us and things like the types of things to get people involved. I've got ideas in that realm, but and as my final question, I want to know, for the people that are out there that are listening to us and that are also watching the Overwatch League that started up this past week, who's your favorite team so far? Who are you rooting for? Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm too rooted in my Massachusetts roots to go anywhere but Boston Uprising.
Yeah, it's really it'll be really unfortunate if they lose, because I'll just have to stop caring.
I won't. I'm just going to keep screaming and tipping cars over like a true Bostonian.
Keep doing it because you continued to do it thus far.
Yes. In my mind, I tipped a lot of cars yesterday. For those that don't know, Boston lost their first game against New York Excelsior, which does not bode well for the Boston-New York rivalry that has existed in sports since the dawn of man.
Yeah.
But honestly, New York was well played. They was it Pine? Yeah, Pine.
Yeah.
What a player. Like,
I honestly,
wow.
If you said which of these people played a character, I wouldn't fucking know.
Oh,
there was a lot going on, but it was great.
I was blown away by the level of play that was going on in the Overwatch League. I'm also really impressed with the setup they have for getting things going.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see how the sport evolves over the course of this year.
I do like that it seems really streamlined. It's like, we'll cut to the guys doing the talking, and then we cut to showing the people playing the game, and then we cut to the game.
At its peak on, what was the first day? Sunday? Monday?
Wednesday.
Yeah. One of those days. At its peak, the most amount of viewers they had on Twitch was 413,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
I'm really excited about where it's going. Because you've had professional esports before, like the CSGO championships and things that are run by ESL, the Electronic Sports League, and MLG, and the big dogs in the pro gaming world. But this is the first one to be not only backed by the company that's making the game or started by the company that's developing the game, but also you've got big players in the game. People that own sports teams also own Overwatch League teams. Look at Robert Kraft.
Shaq owns one of the California teams.
Probably.
And Robert Kraft of the Patriots, he's the owner of the Patriots. He owns Boston Uprising.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild to me.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of big dogs in the professional sports world that are backing this, as well as Blizzard backing it themselves. There's a lot to be.
It's a really crazy sports economy right now.
Sure is. I would also like to anyone that's listening if anyone's listening from the Overwatch League and jersey design, please stop putting numbers on your jerseys. I don't need to know who's what number. They're useless.
Every match we watch, he says this.
Every single time.
I've been screaming about it every match because they numbered players in football so you can see where they are from a distance as they're running with a helmet on. Your players are sitting in a chair. The number is covered by the back of the chair, and we can see their faces at all times. Or at least their handle.
Or at least
the number is not referenced. It's only, what is it there for?
Who picked the number? Unless it was their favorite number, and it's their lucky number or some shit like that. And then I'd be like, all right.
That's that story of the little girl who was helping her mother do the Thanksgiving cooking. And her mother is like, okay, honey, so now we cut the ends off the ham and put it in the pan. And she's like, why do we cut the ends off the ham? And her mother's like, I don't know. That's just how my mother's always done it. You'll have to ask her. But luckily for you, your grandmother's here today. So why don't you go and ask her? And she goes to ask her grandma. And she says, Grandma, why is it that we always cut the ends off the ham? And her grandma's like, I don't really know. My mother always did it that way. But you're lucky enough that your great grandma's still alive. Why don't you go ask her? So she goes, great grandma, why is it we cut the ends off of the ham? And she's like, I always did that because the pan was too small.
I mean,
it's one of those useless things that
Yeah.
carried on. Like it's
Yeah.
the wisdom teeth of the jersey. Stop doing it. Please, for my sake, stop.
For the sake of orthodontists everywhere.
Anyway, that's the end of my rant. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you again next week with more gaming news. We've all been Jack Mackerel. Yes?
I have one thought topic for people to think about at home, and then you can cut.
Okay.
Does Bruno Mars is gay?
Does Bruno Mars is gay?
The
Does
rumor.
Bruno Mars is gay.
The rumor.
Has
come out.
anyone really been far as decided to use even go want to do look more like?
That was one I was going to
See you
do.
next week.